And we have begun, we are here. Welcome everybody. Should I look at I should look at the camera. Am I looking directly at the camera and you could tell?
On the camera. What's the shot look like? Is it weird if we're like talking to each other, or
I think that this is exactly how I didn't want to start this with us talking about how the podcast looks for everybody.
that's okay.
You're right.
Yeah.
So technically, we could begin right now. But how does this look from your angle right now? I don't think we really covered this before we began.
I think it looks better than a lot of podcasts.
Alright.
Is the hat fucking with the lighting on my face?
No, you still see your face clear as day.
Okay.
There's a little bit of shadow on your forehead, but only your forehead.
Alright.
Well-
I actually think I'm gonna take it off. I'm just gonna put it in the corner.
You're gonna go no hat?
That sexy face.
Welcome to the Mitchell Squared.
I just cut my hair, so it's perfect timing.
That's true, man. I haven't cut my hair in a long time.
That haircut's really hard to maintain.
I do it by myself. But then M informed me the other yesterday that I didn't cut like any of the shit on my neck. So I went to work for a whole day, and I had a bunch I had a hairy ass like lower neck or upper neck, and like my head was buzzed, and I probably looked fucking crazy at anybody that got within 2 feet of me
So
all
you
day.
had your whole. Okay, so I think this is a good way to begin the podcast. Welcome to the Mitchell Squared podcast. My name is Mitchell. And
My
his
name is also Mitchell.
I think it's a good way to start it. I think that as like an introduction to the whole thing.
Yeah, it was unfortunate, but it kind of speaks to a larger thing where like I think everybody has those things where they like don't realize. Like, do you ever like be an asshole and you don't realize that you're being an asshole? I
Yeah,
feel like that's what
every
I did,
day.
but like with my neck hair. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Well, I think
Like-
that. Yeah, I'm
Sometimes
very.
you don't realize you're doing something, and then you're really doing something. You know?
I pay a lot of attention to my neck hair. Like I haven't got a haircut in about 2 months, and ever since like when COVID really shut everything down last March, and you couldn't even go get a haircut, I would go to the hairdressers and I would get a particular type of style in my hair. I had a picture of Justin Timberlake that I would Google. I would go on Google Images, get the same picture every single time since 2015. I go to the hairdressers, and I would just show them that photo. I'm like, this is what I want, and that's what I did. But when COVID, didn't allow us to be able to go down to the Magic Cuts and the fucking Jimmy's and Paul's, those aren't names of barbershop. I'm sure that's the name of a barbershop somewhere, but the local places, I couldn't get a haircut, so my hair just grew out, kind of like how it looks right now. And then eventually I decided to just buzz my head, and that's what I was doing for about a year until about 2 months ago. And then I said it's time to end the buzz. And now my hair is just growing. I don't really know what to do with
I
it.
like
But
the
I did
buzz.
shave the back of my head. Not shave, but I got Lindsay to trim it up at the back like last week.
I like the
Gotta keep that shit
tight
clean.
buzz because it's like really exposes you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And especially if you have the beard, you just got this like man ass look to you, just like
You're gonna-
Lil Nas twerking on the devil in that video that we just watched.
Yeah, so we were decided that we were gonna begin the first ever episode of this. Our preparation
With the
before
gay
doing this was watching the Lil Nas doing the lap dance on the devil, and
I only watched like 12 seconds of it this morning while I was taking a shit.
yeah, that was the clip that was shared around a lot. So Lil Nas X, he dropped a new music video, number 16 on trending in Canada right now. It's called Montero. He's a lot of shit going on in this video, but definitely going down the stripper pole and then ending up on the devil's dick. And he licks the devil's ear. We're watching it right now.
A
And
lot of looking.
there's a decent bold shot while he's coming down the pole as well. You can see his pecker. I mean, I didn't pause it or anything, but I knew that the dick was flashing out here for sure.
I wonder if the guy who's
Look at-
playing the devil is gay.
No, the guy that's playing the devil, I think, is him. Because I would assume.
He does.
Because,
He does a lot of that camera trickery and shit in this where he's with himself.
well, every other character in this whole music video is him.
Is everybody him?
Everybody is him. Look,
Oh.
he's the fucking huge forehead guy. He's the acoustic guitar by the tree guy.
I don't know. I don't really know his face well enough to notice.
Oh, that's his face. He makes out with himself.
That's pretty crazy. That
Pretty
people
hot.
do that shit.
Then he's the three
I saw this where he's-
old ladies.
Yeah.
Got the old lady, colorful hair. Skip ahead more and more and more. I mean, I don't know what's going on. It's like a Greek, Italian, Colosseum crowd here going, and then yeah, I mean, it would make sense for him to be the devil because when he slides down the pole, I mean, every other character up to that point was him. So, I mean,
That must be him, but it looks like there's some CGI on his face.
yeah, I mean, I don't know what the technology is like behind,
But if it wasn't
getting
him,
someone to play it.
that'd be like, I wonder if that dude's gay or if he just got paid a lot of money for this.
Bro, I don't know, man. If I got paid like $4,000, I'd
like
I'd let
Schitt's
Lil
Creek?
Nas X twerk on me for about 20 seconds.
You know the
like,
other, yeah, for a lot of money, true, yeah.
I mean, if they were paying a decent amount, I mean, it didn't look like it took them that long to film
the
that.
guy
so.
that dates, what's his name, David on Schitt's Creek?
My grandfather.
Yeah, your dad, your grandfather David? No.
The guy that dates David.
On
he's
Schitt's
not
Creek,
gay. Bro,
he's not gay.
Oh, no, hold on. But no, they're actors.
No,
so
that's what I'm
if you're an
saying,
actor,
though.
you're acting as a character, and if your character that you're playing is gay, then you're going to be a good actor, and you're going to be a gay guy.
Gay for pay is the 2022 vibe, probably.
Gay for pay, yeah. Well, no, I actually know it's ironic. That's what's funny. I looked that up as well. I mean, in Schitt's Creek, what's his name? David.
Mm-hmm.
In real life, that guy is gay.
Yeah.
For sure. Not for sure, like, his character is convincing enough there's no way that he can't be gay in real life,
like,
but
yeah,
I
no,
looked
he
it up as well.
It's interesting, though, how people...
But I'm curious, because I'm like, okay, like, that would be a little bit difficult, I think. I think if I was, as a heterosexual male, to play a gay guy in a show or whatever, I mean, that would be a little bit, kind of strange for a minute. You could kiss another dude. Like, if someone was like, yo, we're doing something right now, and I gotta kiss you.
I feel like if you're, like, very comfortable being straight, like...
That would be hard.
For either a serious topic or to be funny. Like, you see Seth Rogen and James Franco do it all the time. You know what I mean?
Fuck?
They're definitely fucking ladies, probably.
They did that skit on
but
the
they kissed
motorcycle.
each other like a million times. You know what I mean?
Did they?
Yeah. But
my YouTube history is going to be fucked up. Seth Rogen, James Franco, kissing
But
naked.
it's just because it makes people uncomfortable, right?
Bound
Like,
3, yeah, no, but they didn't kiss.
No, they
They didn't
definitely
kiss in
kissed.
this, but they were definitely screwing around on that motorcycle.
They've kissed.
Bro, but this is funny shit. I wish maybe we could like eventually get to the point where we could put this up on the screen.
But then it like offends some people so bad. It's like I don't understand that. So like all my mom's friends.
People aren't comfortable enough with themselves to do that as a joke. They're like,
exactly, and that's what I'm
pause
saying.
themselves.
Is like if you're very straight.
Are we picking him up when he's talking that far
Am I
away
close
from the
enough
mic?
to be?
I turned the gain up, so like,
Gain.
I'm getting something. Should be enough to at least.
Shout out to
Okay.
Jay Bigley, also behind the scenes. He's
Making sure
the
we
next
don't fuck
the
this
next
up.
Joe
I
Rogan,
don't understand.
Jamie type guy.
I'm not a rapper, so I don't know mic
I don't want
distance.
to take full responsibility for all the fuck ups. Just throwing that.
Everybody, if you have an issue with the fuck ups throughout the hour that you're watching this, blame it completely on Jason Bigley at official Jason Bigley on Instagram. That's not your Instagram handle, but it should be
Divert
because you're gonna get
people.
verified.
But no, it's just funny how people like react to something like that. Because I was like think about like you don't get offended because there's like gay porn on Pornhub. You just go look for what you're looking for, right? And then you just fucking
You don't click on
that. You don't. Yeah, you're not clicking on the gay porn, right?
You're not clicking on the gay porn.
But it's there.
You might
Are
be.
you offended about that? No, you're not even thinking about it, right?
No.
So like if like you don't want to see that,
You just don't
you
go
just
into
don't
that room.
look at it, right? You don't.
Well, that's the
walk
thing.
through
I think that
door.
with that music video, and it got a lot of, it's getting a lot of. Not, I don't think it's getting a lot of flack. I think that everybody, when you're an artist like Lil Nas X and you're that popular, you had a song like Old Town Road, and you're just like super deep in the mainstream, and you've caught the attention of anyone who's paying a little bit of attention at least once. Anything you do from that point forward, is gonna be open to a lot of people's opinions. And he did that shoe collab with. Let's see right here. It says so it's with the collaborators Mischief. So I actually thought this was with Nike, but he did a shoe collab with this brand.
I saw that earlier.
666 pairs of this shoe, and 606 pairs, each individually named X666 in red embroidery. These kicks will also contain 66 cc's of red ink as well as 1 drop of human blood. And they're going for about $1,100 each.
I think the hilarious thing about this is that probably every other pair of Nikes allegedly has probably a drop of some sweatshop blood in it.
Yeah.
Somewhere. So
Yeah. So
it's not that
not too much of
original.
a stretch.
there's probably like a couple million pairs of Nikes with blood in
There's
them.
definitely this is not the first pair of Nikes that you bought that didn't have any blood in them. Let's be real, guys. Look into where you're getting your shoes from. But yeah, a lot of people had issues with them. I actually found this video with this chick before it was posted yesterday, and the title of the video on YouTube is "Cancel Lil Nas X." And any YouTube video that begins with cancel, I'm not going to click on it, but I was interested. This is actually a video I thumbed down, and before I even click on this video, I think I might have thumbed down one video before my whole life. As a creator of the content, I know what a thumb down can do to you. And I actually don't know what it really does to you in the algorithm, but I just don't do it. If I don't like something, I'm not thumbing it
with
down.
a bunch of thumbs down, they're gonna click on it anyway because it's like why do I hate this? Why does everybody hate this so much?
Yeah, why are people telling me I hate
anyway?
this?
It's like honestly, it doesn't make a difference if it has a bunch of likes and it's something like this. You know what I mean? Where it's commenting on whatever happened in pop culture or whatever. Like
you can't cancel anybody, bro.
Watch it, and if it has a bunch of dislikes, everybody's gonna watch it too because they're gonna wonder what the fuck's going on.
What does canceling somebody even mean? Does that mean they're not allowed to are you gonna go to their house and whatever their creative outlet is, you're gonna just take all their equipment away from them and they just can't do it anymore? Like as long as they're capable of producing whatever it is that got them to the point that you know about them in the first place, you can't cancel them. You're basically trying to create a movement to kind of distract people and kind of cater people away from giving that person any kind of support, but you can't necessarily cancel them. It's just that didn't abide by your beliefs, so now you're trying to get everybody to be convinced by how you're offended and take them away. And there's this chick, basically this video, I clicked on it, I was like, cancel Lil Nas X. It's a African American from, I don't know where she's from the States somewhere, I believe. And basically her whole issue, when I watched this video, I thought it was going to be okay, she was super Christian or something, and the fact that he had somebody playing the devil and giving the devil a lap dance, the video, and all this commotion, whatever, that was what her issue was. But I think more so her issue was that he's gay. I think she was there's a lot of artists now, there's a lot of rappers now in pop culture that, wear more feminine clothing, and they do feminine stuff, paint their nails, whatever, and it's trying to influence our kids to choose to be homosexual, which is ridiculous. And that seems like to be her point. And then she's like, oh, he's just taking it way too far on this one with his feminine act or whatever. And I was like, well, he's not pretending to be anything. He's gay.
Yeah, but I can't speak for anybody that I'm about to talk about because I'm not gay or black. But I feel like it's more acceptable to be gay if you're white, and I don't understand why. I feel like there's this kind of overcoming, the problems of the past that you have to kind of be manly as a black man. You got to be but as a fucking white people are so watered down and diversified in terms of their being, differentness. It's almost like a trendy thing to be different. All fucking white people are trying to be different in some sort of way for some reason. They want to stand out or something because they don't really got any culture shit going on right now.
Yeah, well, us white people as a whole, we didn't really have to face that much fucking
diversity. So now we're creating
we never had to face as many fucking travesties and challenges to overcome on our way up.
Yeah, when you don't have any problems,
we can walk into anything, and if we're decently we have way less barriers in front of us to be able to get the opportunities that we're deserving for.
And when you have no barriers and you're comfortable, people that are comfortable, especially if they don't have some sort of objective that they're focused on, they'll create problems to solve or create problems to fight. And I think that's
you lost me there, brother.
Yeah, I might have fucking.
Wait, who is what was it again? You creating problems? Who is creating the problems or fixing the problems? I'm confused.
I got confused too.
No. I just mean are you saying that white people are, what is it again?
They just throw obstacles in front of themselves because they don't really have a real.
Oh, we create our obstacles. Yeah, we get offended by it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're kind of throwing barriers up in front of themselves
that aren't necessarily
even
essential or necessary to even throw up in front of us in the first place. It's because we lack
an actual problem.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we got to figure out ways to be offended. But this chick's whole
That's
thing,
what I was
like
saying.
her
People
whole
got to
thing,
find a way to be offended. It was basically where I was trying to get to there. Is like when you're comfortable and bored, you will find a way to be offended or have some sort of problem with whatever is going on. And I feel like that's exactly what this video is, where it's like, cancel Lil Nas. Like, no. This is just, honestly, and going back to what I said before, like being a black man and coming out as gay, for one thing, is huge. Mm-hmm. But then to do something like this, that to throw that in the face of the world and see your own community react to it, and just see everybody react to it. This is a big shakeup, and it's actually important. It seems pretty crazy, like that would be important.
Yeah.
But it is, because this is going to expose a lot of shitty people for having shitty opinions for no reason.
Well, that's the thing. I think that like where there's a lot of, obviously he's from the States, and Christianity is such a popular religion. It's probably the most common religion in the United States, where he had a very successful song, and then like, a lot of the audience, like the kids and their parents are probably Christian, whatever, and I don't know what their beliefs are, but a lot of them obviously probably are against gay marriage and homosexuality in the beginning. We're super fucking woke right off the bat of this podcast. But at the end of the day, I think it's kind of interesting, because it's like, well, if they're already going to put me in this category to begin with because I came out as gay, then I might as well, go chill with the devil.
To be pro-gay.
And
I think if you
not being
if you're
woke,
like
but it's like we're definitely
people,
not touching on
gay.
a light subject here. But anyway, this chick's thing, like, just listen to this girl right here. She's
I mean that for real though. Like, I feel like dudes that are like aggressively anti-gay
or insecure
probably have some
gay
low-key gay tendencies.
Yeah, 100%.
Like that
they're fucking pussies.
They're not aware of.
Lindsey Graham, who like got caught with a gay prostitute in a hotel.
I don't know, but he's definitely never. He's not married, right? And
Are we
he's
picking him up right now? I just know that he's a little bit distant from the microphone. He's good. Okay.
But that was actually one of the things actually that we talked. They talked about in that. Remember before we started this, I was talking about Paradise PD. And there's like that episode where they're all up on like the blimp city, and like they're talking about how like Lindsey Graham's there. Bill Clinton like runs the blimp city where everybody's hiding from their wives. And but they run into like Lindsey Graham at one point, and they're like, he's been a lifetime long bachelor. Probably because he's licking some wrinkly pecker. But
shout out to all the boys out here watching with the wrinkly peckers, by the way. But basically what I was saying is like, it's like he is kind of poking fun and trolling the people that would be offended for
no
him
real
being
good reason.
who he is to begin with, and he's like, well, you guys, kind of don't side with this satanic shit, so let me go fucking grind on the devil's dick. But just listen to this girl's point. I timestamped this, I think, where she was going off here. But I watched this whole thing because I just was typed in Lil Nas X after I was reading some stuff, and I saw her video. I thought her thing was going to be like, oh, he's with the devil, fuck the devil, which I kind of can understand, but I don't even know what her point is.
She wouldn't say this about Nicki Minaj.
Loving it and saying, "Ooh, fabulous." What is wrong with us? What is wrong with us?
I don't understand what her point is.
Black women specifically.
But she keeps saying, don't support him, cancel him, don't support him. It's like, that's not up to you to make that decision. But basically, her point was, when I watched at the beginning of this video, she was like, there's so many people that are influencing our young children to be less masculine, being less masculine. It's like, he can do whatever he wants. It doesn't matter how popular he is. He became popular off of his talents and his music that he decided to make. That's not up to him that he became popular. Maybe you got to push, whatever. But the people decide at the end of the day they liked it. And whatever he does after the fact, whatever he does after the fact, after that fact, that'll determine if he continues to be popular. But You do whatever the fuck
she
you
doesn't
want,
really
and that's
have
art.
a point.
You can't cancel people because you don't like what they do.
And
They're gonna do what they want to do. If they're an artist, they can make the art they want to make. And if you don't like it, you can't decide just because you don't like it. I'm gonna cancel it. I don't like this, so no one can watch this.
Okay, I think canceling shit's stupid because like look at how much.
And that was something I want to bring up. What do you think qualifies somebody as worthy to be canceled? Like, how do you get canceled?
This is the thing. You can't get canceled. Like, think of somebody who's been canceled and they're gone. Try and think of one right now.
Harvey Weinstein and
Okay,
Bill Cosby.
okay, so yeah, no, you
That's
can't
the only way
rape.
you got canceled. You go to jail.
You can't
if you
rape.
did something legitimately illegal and you were fucked. I think.
No,
like,
but think about like
sexual-
H&M. This is what I'm trying to think
back
about.
as fuck, man.
So
Remember
they
we were in New York. We were
super racist, right? And when we were in New York, that was a problem, right? Or was it after that? I don't know, but
if you were with me,
that
it was when we were in New York. Because I remember being in a city where there was an H&M.
it was
and a
New
super
York. We
popular
were on
place.
the
People
corner.
were going there.
We're on like the Times Square corner.
Yeah, so about
and
3 years
I
ago.
was trying to buy weed or something at that time.
Great story too. But
Oh,
we'll get back to that.
No. I just that's why we were actually by that store, but
It was in Times Square. It was It's
yeah.
H&M in Times Square. In New
I
York.
think it was at that time.
But
they
it was
put out like
right
a
around that
racist
time I
something.
did the coolest monkey in the jungle.
Yeah, and it was
The Weeknd had a deal with them, and so did G-Eazy. I think they both dipped out. I think that's just some super insensitive shit on their part to not realize how offensive that could be. That could have been totally not intentional, and they just no one was smart enough.
When you're a big company like that, you're very compartmentalized because like Walmart did this thing like last winter, I think it was, where somebody did like a Christmas sweater and had a snowman on it, but it was like let it snow and there was like lines of cocaine on it.
I saw that.
But there's like there's like processes that like
I think
might
Young
be like
Jeezy was behind that.
There could be like 1,000 designs that go in, and there's like a team of
I
people
saw
monitoring it. And they're like, this looks like a Christmas sweater. Yep. And it gets the yes
does that
vote,
shit
and then
get
enough people
fucking
see it, and probably half of them saw it, and were like, ironically, haha, let's put this in the Walmart store. And then all of a sudden, Walmart
probably because that's like working at Walmart's like a step on the way up.
But then all of a sudden, Walmart's selling a cocaine sweater, and everybody's like, "Oh, what the fuck? Oh, look, my beer didn't explode that I dropped earlier. Sweet."
You were thinking that was gonna explode.
I was,
like because
I
you came
was
in here.
pause so it could be like a thing, and then I was like, "I'm just gonna sneak that in there. If it happens, it happens."
I knew that when you took that beer out like a minute ago, you kind of gave it a look. You're like,
You got a big ass dent because I picked it up, and then I tried to pick up the light diffuser. I had like all kinds of shit in my hands, and I put the fucking can of beer in my pocket, and this was in there too, and it just like pushed it out when I was moving, and it fucking fell on the ground. And then I put it back in my pocket, and then immediately after putting it in my pocket, I might not even put it in my pocket. I might just thought I did and dropped it right on the ground, but it hit the ground twice.
yeah, beer ain't exploding like it used to. Bro, no, but for real, like I dropped a bunch of beer last week, and whenever I was cracking them, man, they were not exploding. But H&M, we were in New York.
Yeah,
I think you should do is, I think you should break it down. I think we should tell the time when we were in New York, early 2018. Me and Mitch
hold
went
on.
to
I had a point to make, just real
I got
quick,
two
and then we'll
to say.
get back to New York.
All right, buddy.
All right, and no, H&M had like a big scandal, and like the thing is, H&M provides a service where they sell relatively cheap plain clothes.
That are pretty dope. I got
And
some nice shit from H&M.
I have one H&M shirt and I love it. And I was like, yeah, I hate that they did something. I hate that somewhere along the line somebody in that company did something that could be defined as racist. But that doesn't define everybody in that company. And I think that's the problem with getting canceled, right?
Yeah.
Is that it's like one person can make a decision that fucks everything up.
Yeah, you just fire
You know
that
what
guy.
I mean?
And if it helps, let them be known.
And this is
let
another-
it put out a fucking PR thing, be like, "Oh, this guy, go at him."
This is another thing too, is that like shit happens sometimes
Put
that
that on
isn't
a
the right
t-shirt.
thing under not even necessarily that situation, but like under pressure somebody does something violent one time, you know what I mean, and then that defines them, you know what I mean, like people people used to do things like that, and if it was captured on, like, say, like in the 60s or 70s or something, and if it was if they were unlucky enough for it to happen on camera, it would be a one-time news line.
No one's getting canceled then, man. It's just
like,
gonna be all
if
our phones.
Elvis Presley like slapped some chick in the face in front of everybody and it was caught on camera, it would be like
Imagine if he did that.
I know, I'm just saying,
That'd be
as
hard. He
an
probably
example, it would go like, it would be like, holy shit, he did that, and then people would kind of go back to whatever. But now it seems like everybody just wants to tackle
I'm Googling Elvis Presley slapping a chick. And then what comes up is Priscilla Presley said Elvis Presley once slapped her for this shocking reason. This only came out like 5 months ago, December 27, 2020. Priscilla Presley began dating Elvis Presley in the 1950s. After the singer courted her for 8 years, they married in 1967. Although the couple got divorced, she's over. I'm not reading.
But like that would be like an internal problem.
So he was
and now it's like
slapping girls.
everything is super.
Cancel Elvis. Elvis is canceled. That should be the name of this podcast episode. Elvis is canceled. I don't want to do that to Elvis, but
I lost my point. I shouldn't.
But basically, when we went to New York in 2018, we were walking down to Times Square, and Mitch wanted to get some weed, and we came across some guy. And it was weird. Weed just got legalized, I believe, in New York.
Just now.
This week.
Yeah.
But there was a van on the side of the road.
It was so confusing.
That was selling edibles. So I don't really know how that was getting.
Dude. It was like fucking like 10 vans.
It was pretty
on either
official.
side of the road.
Yeah, I don't understand.
It was the most confusing thing ever, and they all had big nugs of weed on them. Yeah. I was like, this is awesome. And I remember the first fucking van that I went up to. I was like, I literally walk up, the guy's rolling a joint in the fucking driver's seat of the van. And I'm like, do you guys have any bud to sell? Not edibles? And he's like, no. And I'm like, clearly you have weed in there. But I think it was like the second or third truck.
That probably wasn't what their service was.
No, but I'm like, you got
sell.
weed in your hand.
He had
dude.
weed in his hand, but
like you're
I don't
already
think
doing something that was on the gray line.
Use. Yeah. I think what he was trying to sell was the edibles that I had in the vehicle.
Absolutely, but it's like that wasn't really legal either.
But I'm sure there was a lot of
weed
other
wasn't
people.
Legal in New
I
York.
have no idea how they were even parked on the side of the street in like the most populated place in New York City. But there was a guy who came up to us because he probably stood around there all day. This guy could be a famous rapper right now. I don't even know.
He had a big ass watch on. That's the only reason I trusted him.
He was balling as fuck, bro.
I've never trusted anybody with like a super large watch on.
We trusted him there because we just get along with everybody wherever we go here. So it was like, oh, we're in New York, Times Square, whatever. This guy's gonna be cool. So
he was hunting.
He came up to you and he was like, "Oh, you looking to buy some weed?" And they were only selling edibles in that van. So you were like, "Yeah, whatever." And then remember he was breaking down the entire list of every different type of strain. He had
like, this is $55. This is $50. This is $45.
At the end of the day, he was running away with whatever you give him.
He was definitely smoking crack because like there's no way you can think about some shit that.
That guy was smoking fucking grind.
But it was crazy. What he ended up doing was he told me. He said, "Come into McDonald's." And I was like, "Okay." I went into McDonald's. Mitch came in with me, and then he said, "See where the napkins are over there. Go put your money under the napkin thing. And that guy over there at the ATM has your weed." And I was like,
that was insane, bro. To even believe that at the time.
It wasn't insane, but it was his pitch that got me.
He was confident because he does shit all day.
He was wearing nice clothes. He had a big ass watch on, and the thing is, he came like, I think I asked 2 or 3 trucks in a row if they had weed, right? And then he came out from the back, like from around the truck.
This dude literally appeared from the shadow.
This guy was hunting. He was like stalking people to.
He looked nice because obviously, like, I assume he tricked you here.
Yes.
Yeah, and obviously you're not the first guy that felt.
No, that's what I'm saying. He was stalking. He was stalking weed.
Guy was making money all day because that's where the tourists go, Times Square.
Yeah,
and sometimes I would imagine tourists want to smoke weed.
He's like, I'm gonna get my nicest watch. I'm gonna get my nicest suit, and I am going to sell some fake weed.
It wasn't like a suit.
Long story short, that motherfucker can run.
No, well, yeah, that. But it was crazy because he didn't just steal from me. So like, he told me, this guy at the ATM has your weed. Some guy with like a laptop bag.
Random guy.
But he's like, that's my partner. He has your weed. Put your money over there. And then that guy's got your weed. I was like, okay, I put my money over there. I went over, talked to the guy at the ATM. And he was like, that guy just told me you have my weed.
This guy's fucking genius, bro.
I'm like, whoa, we just got caught up. We got caught up in the same finesse.
Think about the fucking efficiency of this guy, bro.
No, that's what I'm saying.
This guy is so that guy was so charismatic. He found a guy that he was gonna sell weed to. Somehow convinced him to go to McDonald's and eat something because that guy was at the fountain. Wasn't he? He was at the
or
fucking soda fountain.
ATM or something like that.
He was at the fucking soda fountain, bro. He was getting a cup filled up with something to eat because he was like, all right, whatever. I feel like he probably told that guy, oh, I'll get you some weed, but I got to just run down the street, get my weed. So that guy was like, well, I'm at McDonald's. Let me get something to eat. So he's at the fucking fountain. I watched it because I remember I was just sitting outside McDonald's. I was waiting for it to be over, and man, I forget what he said, but he ran out, bro. I thought in my head I wasn't really paying too much attention to this whole exchange. I was like, this is the whole thing, because I was sitting outside on the ledge of the window, and that guy ran. And I'm like, oh my god, it's taking forever. I was like, why is he going up the street? I was like, what? It made no sense. But then, I remember seeing the other guy that was with you that he scammed. But I guess so. Basically, he had to convince that guy. You probably told him that he was going out there to get weed for him, but like he was already convincing him that he was about to sell some shit.
But that guy thought that I had
Did the camera go off?
That was the fucked up thing.
Your camera says something.
Camera's talking to us. Basically, he scammed you guys both at the same time and ran off both your money. Is it good? Is it record?
Usually just keep
It just took a nap?
It's okay. We lost like 2 seconds. We can just set up. But
Oh, that's fine. We can do that in post. But yeah, that guy was a scammer, and I wonder where he's at right now, because
Probably
you
dead.
hear so many success stories of these guys, and they're like, oh man, I used to do this, blah blah blah.
Mhm.
That guy was doing good at the time.
Could've
Maybe he's in
turned it around.
jail. Maybe he stopped. Maybe he went legal.
Know what?
Shout out to him though.
I just thought about this the other day. Remember Frankie?
McDonald.
No, Frankie from when we lived in Dartmouth. Oh no, you wouldn't know him by name. So
That-
remember Devin that lived with us? Remember the guy that fucked up our apartment? His name was Frankie.
Oh yeah, fucking rest in peace to that guy.
He used to put prostitutes on back pages, and it cost him like $20 worth of Bitcoin. He'd go get like a $250 prepaid MasterCard and buy like a quarter of a Bitcoin with it when we lived there. Now, if you had a quarter of a Bitcoin, that would be like fucking like $13,000 right now, US.
Easily.
If he just bought the Bitcoin and held on to it, do way better than his pimping job.
But he's
ever
probably
did him.
dead.
Yeah, he is probably dead, but fuck that guy anyway. But
We'll get into that story on another day.
but the weird thing about the when I did get weed in New York was that like when I did get weed in New York, it was almost the same setup. Because remember, I was texting somebody, I can't remember, online to get weed,
yeah.
and then
We ended up
and then I
getting-
found this guy. Well, I ran into one guy, and I was like, "Do you got weed?" And he was like, "I only do like this amount." He's
Did
like, "If
somebody
you go
just pull,
around."
did someone just pull in right there?
Not that I can see.
Red car.
I don't see any headlights or any, I can just see black.
Okay.
But yeah, so like I was waiting in an area to get weed from somebody else. Communication broke down somewhere, and then I talked to one dude, and he was like, "I only sell in this amount." He was like, "Go to this area, and you can find some weed." And I fucking ran into this other guy in front of H&M.
Yeah.
Well, I was waiting for somebody else.
Oh, so
And
the
remember-
person that ended up giving you the weed, like selling you the weed, wasn't actually.
It was just some random
set
dude that
up?
we ran
'Cause
into.
remember we were in McDonald's.
Yes, and that's
That was random. That's
We just
true.
ran
We
into
were
that
waiting
other
for
guy.
somebody else to sell you weed after you got ripped off. So you were really fucking committed.
I was
to
really
get
trying to
weed.
get weed.
That was the first night we were in New York.
And the worst part about it
Yeah.
was I lost $50 US. So like, what's that? Like $75. You didn't even pay that. I can get a quarter for half of that here. But that's what I was
Damn,
trying to
bro,
get.
that sucks.
You know what I mean? I was
You
trying to
really
get
got finessed.
I really got finessed
But
because I got
that's the
that.
problem. It's like trying to get food in the airport. It's like you have no
Oh,
other
that was
choice.
gross.
You're just willing to pay a little bit more than what you usually would
I was
pay.
broke as fuck at the end of that trip. I think I had like $11 and I went down there with like
You dyed your hair
$700.
red before we went on that trip. And you posted a picture on Instagram with the fucking airsoft gun.
Yeah, my ex-boss got mad at me.
Super
'cause
problematic. Yeah, you were
sad
you were on
boy.
Instagram with the glizzy.
I was.
We'll take it to a different spot here. Some local news. Cape Breton police seize illegal tobacco, cash and bus. You know, I had a bunch of tabs up here, and this was one that I got. I heard about this the other day, so I said, let me just look this up. So basically, there was these guys that were selling illegal cigarettes, and yeah, the cops seized 12,500 contraband cigarettes valued at approximately $7,500. The estimated police provincial tax value of the cigarettes is $3,440, and the federal tax value is $1,196. But then this is where it kind of goes a little off here. It says further investigation led police to obtain a search warrant for a Second Glace Bay residence on 5th Street, where they found and seized approximately $440,000 in cash and several firearms. And
Really?
one man
Number
was
two? That's very surprising.
5th Street, so that's where that is, number 2. One man was arrested from each residence, and both were released from police custody and a promise to appear in Sydney Provincial Court on May 26, 2021. So they were like yo, we'll let you guys go as long as you show up. One of the guys is 63, the other guy is 30, so I'm assuming the other guy is the $440,000 in cash guy. But somebody was trapping heavy in the hometown here.
With SIGs. That's so
But
crazy.
that's not off SIGs. I think that this was.
Something
I don't know
else
why
tied
this is
into
both
the
in
business?
the same article, but
If you're selling drugs, you might as well sell like legal cigarettes.
I mean, yeah.
But this actually kind of brings me to something different topic. But like the American bail system is so fucked up because like I've been listening to Lil Durk for years, and then I didn't really hear about King Von till recently. Did you see that the guy that killed King Von just got released on $100,000 bond?
Yeah, what's his name?
He fucking murdered him. They got it on camera. But if you have enough money,
Self-defense, bro.
Self-defense? That was not
bro.
self-defense.
Little fucking King Von came out there swinging, baby.
Yeah, but with a fist. That does not. Like in Canada, if somebody breaks into your house, you're not allowed to shoot them. You're not allowed to stab them. You're supposed to call the police.
King Von. Okay, let's be real, man. R.I.P. King Von. I thought he was a good rapper. You know what I mean? Like, he was having a predominant rise in the game. But from what I've watched and what I researched and what I've seen.
He started it, but it didn't provoke a shooting.
No,
he punched somebody in the face and then he got shot
that
to
didn't
death.
have to happen. Definitely not.
No, it didn't have to happen,
not.
but
It
it
didn't have to
doesn't provoke
happen.
getting
He shouldn't
shot.
have died. He shouldn't have got shot. 100%. Are you just talking about basically the system behind what has allowed this guy to get released so early?
Yeah, that's stupid as fuck.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So if you get like
King Von,
11 parking tickets
died,
and you go to jail, you don't have enough money to get out on bond. You're stuck in jail. But this guy can shoot a person to death, and if they can accumulate $100,000, they can get out because fuck it, you gave the government money. That is so backwards.
Well, it's kind of like what the NBA YoungBoy who just got released, and his situation is a little bit different. But I think it was weird. From what I read, his bond was like $500,000 or something like that, and he provided that, but he also had to give up like $1.5 million in property as well. It's so weird that you can negotiate a release of committing a crime.
Well, it's like collateral, right?
Well, that's what it's called. Yeah, exactly. But like, and people don't really know essentially what his charges are just yet, or they do. It's something that, whatever. But yeah, I mean, that guy killed King Von. I don't know. He was King Von that fired quickly, so this by the 2 hours were nearby had confronted the shooters with gunfire. However, Leaks was arrested later and charged reportedly. He was released on a $100,000 bond.
Yeah.
Which the funniest close associate rapper Quando Rondo during the shootout. Rondo has been since defending him on social media with the hashtag FreeLouTim. His Instagram bio comment there's always two sides to a story. Ain't no more free. He's home. Yeah, I mean, people say that they hire shooters, and that was probably his shooter. I don't know what the issue was leading up to him actually, King Von coming out and punching him or whatever.
If you have
and
enough money to hire some gangster guy who would just as much rather shoot you for more money, you know what I mean? I mean, maybe they were friends. But, like, the thing is with guys like this is that,
what do you mean? Oh, they were definitely friends.
Absolutely. I know that they're friends.
You know what's weird?
They
if
have
you go
history.
to Spencer's,
but I'm just saying, if one
shirt.
of his enemies came up to him and said, hey, I'll pay you $100,000 to kill Quando, he'd probably do it.
But he didn't
you know
go
out
mean? There and scope out King Von and kill him. King Von definitely initiated that
your
situation.
friend got punched in the face. That's like if I punched you in the face and then Jay shot me. Does that make sense?
Let's have that happen.
If I get to shoot you on there.
Jason, you fucking slide him a fucking tall can.
No, but that's what I'm saying, though, right?
He's laying them off.
It just doesn't really. You can't justify a shooting with a punch to the face. Like, he hit him once, and then everybody ripped out guns and started firing.
I don't know. I'm sure there's some
I watched
way
the video
it.
like a
million times. Do you know that Boosie got his Instagram deleted because he posted a video for a music video shoot with the baby where he paid a guy in a convenience store $550 to smack him as hard as he can in the music video that he's shooting?
I want to see this. I heard about this like 4 times today, but I just want to...
Who told you about it?
Like, just online. Sorry, not heard about it, but I saw it come up multiple times.
It's a pretty good smack, man. We'll bring it back right here. The dude he's hired for this, I would imagine if he was just in the store. This guy seems a little bit incoherent. Looks like he's a little drunk. It's a hard slap. Here it comes. He goes, the fuck's wrong with you, man? The Louisiana rapper became a trending topic on March 27th after Instagram video surfaced of him slapping the taste out of a man's mouth at what appears to be at a corner store. Turns out the hefty smack was all part of a music video for a song Boosie has with the baby title period, which I did not listen to. But yeah, he smacked that guy. But it seemed like the guy was in good spirits afterwards.
Well, yeah, that guy just got his fucking rent paid for a slap in the face.
I know.
Why
He
is that a
slapped
problem?
once, bro. I would take a slap.
You can see
I
right
would take
there
a slap right now for $600. Anyone want to slap me in the face for $600? Hit me up. You can slap me.
That's US $550, bro. That's like.
He come to
700
Canada and he
here.
got more money.
Dude, I get slapped in the face for like $50.
Yeah, fuck it, man.
Someone want to
It's good.
slap Jason in the face for $50? Slide in our DMs.
I've been
We
slapped
can
for free,
coordinate
so
that
fuck
shit.
it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%, bro. I got some takes here.
How about the fucking ad on XXL is online marriage counseling?
What? Let's play a game called How Many Kids Does This Rapper Have? So name me a rapper. I'm gonna look up how many kids they
2
have.
Chainz.
2 Chainz. All right. 2 Chainz kids. How many kids does he have?
It appears that he has 3. His last name is
3.
Epps?
Yep.
I don't like that. That
His
sounds
name
like
is
Swedish.
Tawhid Epps. He's 43. 2 Chainz is 43.
Dude, yeah, man.
But 2
remember-
Chainz came out in 2012, in my opinion,
First
when I
day
first
that
heard of
you
him.
told me about 2 Chainz, or first day that I remember hearing about 2 Chainz,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
were talking to me about how
was
he's on like
2012.
the top 30 over 30. So 2012.
We were in grade 9. I was 14. I mean, I just wasn't alive long enough to pay attention to hip hop long enough to like go that deep to know what group he was in and all that shit. But yeah, he's 43. I thought he might have been like 40. But that's
Soulja Boy.
hard.
Soulja Boy definitely has kids, like all over the
Bro,
place.
I feel like Soulja Boy's like an anomaly. I feel like he has no kids.
He's probably a virgin.
5-year-old.
I thought his
Soulja
kid's
Boy's alleged baby mama, so I don't. Maybe he doesn't. You know, let's do this.
5-year-old Portland.
NBA.
I thought it said portion.
I'll say right
Yeah,
here.
that's a
NBA
hilarious
YoungBoy
name. That's just a
has.
portion of my seed.
NBA YoungBoy has 6 kids.
Yeah, it's a lot of kids.
He's 21.
How many
6
kids does Lil Wayne have?
I'm gonna say 3. What do you think, Jason? How many kids does Lil Wayne have?
I'm gonna say 2. I think 2.
Lil Wayne is younger than 2 Chainz, so
He definitely has more than that he doesn't know about.
4. He's
4?
4. He is 4.
Dwayne? Is that a... Oh, no.
That says his name is Dwayne
What?
Carter.
How do you say that? Regine?
You got Regine and Cameron and
I gotta
Nino
pee. I
and
didn't want to
Dwayne.
pee while we were doing this, but I...
You're gonna go pee?
Real quick.
All right, Jason. In the meantime, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing pretty good. Here's something for you. Eddie Murphy. Do you know how many kids Eddie
Bro,
Murphy has?
you know what's crazy, bro? Before I did this podcast today, I looked up how many kids does. That's what I was putting in. I was gonna look up this rapper NBA YoungBoy, but when I type in how many kids does, like literally the first thing that comes up is Eddie Murphy, and it's 7. And like Google does that thing where it has 10. He has 10.
Yeah, I was reading that. Yeah, that came up the other day. It was like, you cannot believe how many kids Eddie Murphy has. And
It was like an ad.
It was obvious clickbait, but I was like, fuck it. I want to know how many kids Eddie Murphy has. And I clicked on it, and I could not believe he has 10 kids.
He has more kids than the like search feed can show you when you look up his name. Eddie Murphy children count.
I feel like I can't even maintain 10 pairs
4.
of shoes.
3. Yeah, that only shows 7. You can't maintain 10 pairs of shoes? What do you mean by maintain? You have to keep them clean, or what? What's the deal?
I just mean, like, I just don't wear them. Eventually, some get put to the wayside.
Eddie Murphy doesn't wear all of his kids.
Some of his kids are just put by the wayside, and he just doesn't pay attention to them anymore.
Yeah, that
They
makes
just
sense.
sit on a little rack there forever.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense, man. He's 10 kids, bro. That's crazy. Has he been with the same person his whole life? There's no
I feel
way.
like probably not, but he took a step back from his career.
Oh
to,
yeah.
like, raise kids.
Murphy has 2 sons. Began a long-time romantic relationship with Nicole Mitchell after meeting her in 1988. They lived together for almost 2 years before getting married. Well, he had 5. So he had 2 kids with a girl. Murphy has 2 sons with then girlfriend Paulette and Christian. Bro, this is confusing. I can't.
We're talking about Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy has 10 kids. At the end of the day, Murphy began a long-time romantic relationship with Nicole Mitchell after meeting her in 1988. They lived together for almost 2 years before getting married. Murphy and Mitchell have 5 children together: Bria, Miles, Shane, Zola, and Bella. In August 2005, Mitchell filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences, divorce. Following divorce, he became a former Spice Girl, became pregnant, said the child was Murphy's. When questioned with the pregnancy, I didn't know whose child that it is until it comes out and has a blood test. She didn't jump to conclusions. She got a baby girl. Yeah, basically Eddie Murphy got some quality sperm.
Did you say Eddie Murphy?
I do too, man.
Mitch got some good sperm. Everyone out here, if you're ever in a position where you aren't capable of producing a child, hit up Mitch. He can.
Kids
he can
with
create a
eye
kid for
contact,
you.
apparently.
You can go to that spot where you donate your sperm, and he can get you pregnant for sure. We're gonna start charging that. We're gonna eventually start a Patreon after we get a couple episodes in here, where we get exclusive episodes. And one of the things, depending on the tier that you subscribe for, Mitch will donate his sperm.
You give us $18,000, I'll give you my sperm.
That's how much it's going for these days.
Yeah, man. If you want a
18K.
short white guy kid with like dry skin issues,
I don't mind it.
$18,000 a pop. Okay.
18K, bro. That's a lot, but I mean, it's
maximum
a life. That kid's gonna
5'8".
The ROI
if you're
on that's
lying.
pretty good. That kid can make you some money. You know what I mean?
I'm strong.
You're a strong boy.
It's one thing I got.
How many kids is what do you think about COVID? How do you feel about COVID?
Actually, I just literally like looked at this fucking headline while I was taking a piss there, and yeah, dude, go ahead. I think that there's a big split opinion on this. Now, I think that lockdowns, after we really kind of got a good grip on like how is this affecting people, I think that lockdown and a lot of things that went on during lockdowns. Like one thing that I had a huge problem with was like store staff and store hours got cut down. And what makes no sense about that is if you cut the hours of a store, like say like 100 people on average on say like a Friday are going to your business. Now, if you instead of going from like 9 to 12, you cut that down from like 9 to 6. Now, all of 100 of those people that are going to go there anyway have to go there closer to each other. And on top of that, like when you go to a grocery store, there's like arrows going up and down the aisle. So instead of you like being able to go, oh, I need to go over here to this aisle and over here to this aisle, now you actually have to walk up and down every single fucking aisle to get what you want. So you have to touch and see everything instead of just going to specific places. Like by making restrictions, they actually restricted people's like ability to do things in a way that it made it kind of worse. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like if you were sick and you didn't know, and then you went to Sobeys,
you'd be touching everything.
And you have to go up and down every single aisle because you got to go up, down, up, down,
yeah.
up, down, up, down. And then,
I mean,
you know what I mean?
At the end of the day, the way that I see it is like something hasn't impacted our whole country or the world to this extent in my lifetime. So, and they didn't know what the capabilities of this virus were, so they came up with this, like, there's so many crazy different guidelines that you have to follow in the first place. So, I mean, shit like that, they might have thought it might have been more effective than it actually was at the beginning of everything.
Well,
and they
it's
just stuck to those rules.
What they did initially makes sense. Like, if you look historically at really bad pandemics, you know what I mean, what they did. They took the right guidelines, but you have to assess things and then adjust accordingly. The thing is, we set guidelines and didn't adjust, right? We just set them and rolled with it, and everybody lost their mind over toilet paper and shit. You know what I mean?
Which is the craziest thing, bro. If you could think about what people would have had an issue with beforehand, maybe that had to do with people's diets, man. Maybe people had a lot of diarrhea at that time, bro, because we got a lot of fast food in North America, bro. Like, if people were shitting, man. I knew around the time where COVID began, I was having diarrhea a lot, dude. So, break it down, son.
People's poop math was way crazy when that happened.
I gotta do that poop math, but basically, I'm trying to get a vaccine in my fucking ass,
Me too.
bro. I'm trying to get that vaccine in my arm, my forehead. Where are you going to put that vaccine aside from my pee hole? I will take it because I am ready to be able to be eligible and to try. I want to show the airport a card that says I've been vaccinated. Don't stick something up my nose. I'm ready to go to a Central American country and live on the beach.
When
or live in a
when
small
it
village.
when it first started, like literally,
And eat
like this was
seafood.
like maybe end of November, like before everything was like way before everything was locked down and like declared whatever.
You gonna say you had COVID?
No, no.
Everyone likes to say that.
Everybody
I had
thinks that they had
before-
COVID. No, but
yeah.
I was sick as fuck in November though. I had this like cold that was so bad. Like I remember I was shaking and shit. And that happened to me one other time in my life.
I thought I had COVID
flu.
a few times during the early phases.
But
where I was
no,
like-
I never thought during while
You
it was
did a
actually
thing,
happening.
Jason. What are you saying?
Well, we know someone who was sick, like really sick, in like December before it started, and like it triggered his pneumonia. I don't want to name names.
Well, I was
Damn.
really sick.
They said like it could have come here around the time that he was sick, and like I'm like I would put money on the fact that he probably had it.
Well, that's the thing. I was very, very sick. Like Emily remembers this cold too because she got it after me. I remember having to drag her out of the tub. Like she was so sick, I literally had to carry her out of the tub because she couldn't move, and I couldn't either. It was the most debilitating flu or whatever I've ever had. But it's very physical. Like I had shakes and chills and shit. I was weak. But then COVID happened, and I was like, maybe I got that like ahead of time, but I doubt it. I never got tested. I don't know, but I doubt that I did. But like, the thing is, there's variants of the cold. Like if some older person caught what I had that day, or it was like 4 days where I was like wrecked. I couldn't do shit, which is pretty bad because, like I said, I've only been sick like that one other time in my life. If there was an old person got hit with that, it would kill them. It would absolutely kill them because I felt like I was gonna die. I was very scared. No, that was the
You
sickest
think if an
I've ever
old
been.
person got that cold that you had at that time, they would die?
Yes. Not any old person, but if they weren't like
Super
watching,
weak old person.
if they didn't work out in the last 30
Well,
years,
that's what
and
it
they were
seems like.
fat,
A lot of
yeah,
these
that would kill them.
vaccines, as they're arriving, they get distributed to an older population. Obviously, I think
makes
this
sense.
is interesting because it's like a lot of it seems like the general responsibility of everybody is like we need to protect our elderly people. It's like seems like if anything, you can see the responsibility of everyone is like kind of dictated as that is the top priority. It's like a lot of the things that we're doing are to make sure that like we don't want to travel because if we go somewhere where the COVID is, a little bit like we're in Nova Scotia, so we're kind of grateful for the fact that this is like almost not really that widespread where we are right now, especially in Cape Breton. But we go to Mexico, we go somewhere in the United States, or we go anywhere. It's like there's a lot more cases there. There's a lot more, whatever. And we bring it back here. We go visit our grandparents. We go visit our parents. They might be a little bit more vulnerable to it, and then we could potentially put them in harm's way. And people are restricting from traveling and doing certain things because they don't want to put other people in harm's way, which is kind of admirable if you think about it, because a lot of people are putting their life on hold to make sure that they can protect, their elders or others, which I think is kind of cool in a way. But because when you see the way that the vaccines are distributed, obviously the biggest concern is people that are
At risk.
much older than us. So people that are 60 and up or are not really even 65 and up, 70 and up, they're the ones that are getting it first. Like in this thing right here I have open from like CBC, it's like 5 million. As of Sunday, the number of doses administered across the country totals 5,032,269. And provincially, Ontario has given the most shots because Ontario is the highest population. They have the most cases, whatever. Ontario's got 1.8 million shots right now. I mean, I think you have to get 2 shots essentially for it to be considered.
1.9 is basically 2. But
yeah, basically 2 million people. So almost half of all of the vaccinations that have been distributed throughout all of Canada have been specifically in Ontario. But I think Ontario's population is like 13 million as it is, and Canada's population is like almost 40 million.
37.
We're not even at 40 million in Canada. I think California as a state still has more people in it than Canada, so whatever. But Quebec has 1.17 million vaccines. British Columbia is 637,000, so it's going down. But I saw something about Nova Scotia. By June, anyone who wants to get vaccinated will be able to get vaccinated. And that leads me to, will you guys get vaccinated?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, like at this point,
he's holding that mic weird.
As soon as I can get vaccinated, I am getting
Yeah.
vaccinated. I cannot wait to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
Like, I can't
Break it down a little bit more.
Well,
What do you mean? You
it's
seem
like-
very
It's just like
confident
as
in
soon as enough people are vaccinated to have herd immunity.
Yeah.
As soon as that's done, things can get back to like almost normal. So like, I just want to get vaccinated so I can help be a part of that. You know?
Yeah.
Get it
I
out
think
of the
this
way.
definitely puts in perspective. It tests our willpower as people to be like, let's, put our dreams and not our dreams, but like any kind of ideas that we have that require us to travel a little bit more and associate with people and all this shit on hold for the the long-term benefits that we don't hurt each other on hold. It's kind of like a good test of our willpower and seeing if we can kind of stop what we want to do in the short term for safety and good health in the long term. But I think for the I mean, depending on where you are, but I think here is like for the most part we've done a good job. So shout out to us. I think we deserve to get vaccinated and fucking do our thing.
The thing is,
again.
I feel like vaccination. Well, I mean, this obviously it points to that. Is that vaccination should be kind of focused on higher population areas, because I think the reason that
that makes sense.
The
More
Eastern
people,
Province
higher
bubble
chance
or
of
whatever
getting
it is.
COVID, higher chance of people dying.
How many
Get them vaccinated
cases
first.
of COVID have we had here? Like, look that up. How many cases of COVID in Cape Breton?
I'll show you right now.
Because the population density is so low that even if you
Cape Breton as a total, it has 132,000 people, I believe. Sydney has 32,000. Clay Space 17,000. I'm just throwing out population numbers right now. But how many cases of COVID in? It's crazy. I looked up Nova Scotia before just on Google, hit news. It wouldn't show me anything but COVID stories.
That's Nova Scotia though, but like
total Nova Scotia had 1,711 cases. 1,620 recovered. There's been 66 deaths in Nova Scotia.
So even in our whole province, there's only been less than 2,000. You know what I mean? So just based on density, I feel like density is a big issue there, because like if you're in a place where at any given time at your common grocery store, there's going to be like 30 people in there. The likelihood of them breathing on, coughing on, touching the same product within a time frame where they're going to pick that up immediately and get like a huge viral load is very fucking low. You know what I mean? Like, that's not going to happen. So, you know what I mean? Like, and the thing is, there might have been a lot of people that we come across, and that's another thing that like people don't really take into account, is that viral load thing. Like, if somebody with full blown destroyed with COVID coughed in your face, it's a whole lot different than if like an air particle from like a mile away blew onto a bag of flour in the grocery store and now you touched it. You know what I mean? And then you come in contact with it and you've been exposed to it. But it's different than if, like, you know what I mean, you get a huge dose of that at once, rather than, you know what I mean? But like population density, you know what I mean? If you're in a place like New York, where I'm pretty sure, I don't know if this is accurate, so don't hold me to it, but I'm pretty sure that I read like basically the population of Canada runs through New York on foot every day, in terms of like people and tourists and shit. I don't know if that's correct, but like it's a lot of people running.
New York's population is like 4 million. Canada's population is like.
But no, sorry, I think it was like Times Square. People walking through Times Square is like an insane population.
Like the greater New York area, like New York.
You guys keep talking about this. I gotta pee real quick. You guys go in.
It's like, I think it's somewhere around 10 million. Like,
Yeah.
So like that's not like out of the stretch. That's only like that's roughly a third the size.
I could be remembering wrong, but like what I read was that is that like the population, about 30 million people walk through Times Square, and that could be the same person multiple times, but walk through Times Square on any given day, right? So like when you're talking about those kind of numbers, even if I was talking about the same kind of spread where I said, somebody coughing like a mile away and then some little piece of virus lands on your fucking, groceries at the grocery store. If you have that in an area that's as dense as New York, that could accumulate over you going to McDonald's, and you go to the grocery store, then you go to fucking take a shit in the subway. You know what I mean? You could run into that so many times that the viral load that you're taking on could be the equivalent of somebody coughing straight in your face. Whereas here, it's like you might run into a little bit of something one time.
Oh yeah, and especially like if you look at cities like in New York, they have bodegas, like stores the size of this living room.
Yeah, and there's like 500 people going through that in the run of a day.
Sobeys and Superstore are massive.
Yeah, and
you're not getting real, like if you don't want to, you don't have to get really close to anybody.
Yeah, and no, what's hilarious is I went there the other day, and I remember at the beginning of COVID, there's like this big line that you had to go into to like there's like an entrance only, and there was always an entrance only and an exit only at Superstore. or Sobeys, but it depended on what door you went in. And you would go through the exit or you go through the enter. It didn't really matter. They just had labels over them. But then after COVID started, it was like you had to go out one way, you had to go in one way, and they had like an occupancy load on the door, and it was like 70 people. That's what it was, 70 people. I went into Superstore the other day, and it was like occupancy load, 771 people. I was like, when do you think there's ever going to be 771 people in here? I've never seen that in my life. That's like the entire population of my high school being here at once.
Huh?
I need a pee too. I don't know.
Go up there, bro.
Everybody's
Go up there.
pissing.
Everyone needs to release that urine.
You know what I realized when I was peeing too? Has nothing to do with anything.
That your penis is massive.
No, it's not massive. It's okay though. But
show it on camera right now.
Dude, know what I've been doing? Okay. Go up those stairs and to the left.
There's also, if you go to the bathroom, there's one downstairs too.
No, it's
my
hilarious
dad
to
says,
me.
so we're balling.
People hate the word pussy, and they hate the word cock.
I knew we were gonna get in this one.
No, but because
and cunt.
Yeah, cunt, but like cunt is like really out there. Like you never look at like a vagina, and you're like, look at that cunt.
North American.
But,
that's like really offensive here, but in the UK and Australia.
Oh, you're a sick cunt, bro. Yeah.
It's like a casual one.
Yeah,
It's
but
like, you're a good guy.
But no, like the.
All right, man. Take care.
We just hit a half hour.
That means we've been doing this for an hour.
Yeah.
Sweet. Shut
Yeah. Like.
You kind of get lost in the sauce.
Yeah, me too, but it's okay.
That's good. I'm enjoying myself.
I would like to get like one more beer. I don't know if.
Oh yeah, let's keep it rocking. How many beers did you have?
I had. This is my second one, so I don't know if there's anything else locally available. But I'll fuck some shit up. But anyway.
There is one. There's one somewhere. I know there is. There's actually margaritas downstairs.
Yeah, no, we can hit up margarita, whatever. Okay. But wait,
you're
hold
saying
on.
cock and what's the other word?
Cock and pussy. People don't like females especially, it seems, don't like that word. Emily, my girlfriend.
This is when we go down the dark path.
No, Emily doesn't like that word. So I've
What
been
one,
trying to
cock?
I realized it the other day. Yeah, it makes her like really uncomfortable, and something that's hilarious to me because like I'm very cock. Like, oh, look at my fat cock, bro. But so like I realized that makes her really uncomfortable. So I think it's really fun. I like the
cock.
experience of like after I've been pushed out of my comfort zone. You know what I mean? Like nobody wants to like think about like, oh, if I went skydiving right now, like you'd be fucking terrified, right? But then afterwards,
story when you're done though.
Afterwards, you'd be like, damn, I just did that shit, right? So what I started doing is just using the word cock a lot in my house, and on top of that, I've just been like pulling my dick out on the regular randomly, just to see what the response is. And I'm like, look at my fat cock, bro. No, not bro, but like to my girlfriend. And now she's become used to it. That fast, right?
Is she gonna be comfortable with you saying this publicly?
It doesn't matter. I actually had a point to bring this back to.
I don't care.
Lil Nas X. This type of gay shit. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't care if you're gay. Like all my mom's friends when I was young were gay. Yeah. You know what I mean? They literally had glass dick trophies in a fucking thing. They were publicly recognized for being gay.
How do they win those?
And I have no idea. I've been wondering the same thing my whole life. But they literally had glass dick trophies. I don't know where they came from or why, but they existed. But this is what I'm saying is like, that video, this was like I came full circle really quick. I wasn't trying to. I was trying to elaborate.
Pun intended.
I was trying to elaborate on whipping my dick out at home, but this is a shock thing that, you know, if you look at like 10 years from now, that's not going to be weird. You know what I mean?
What, getting dick trophies?
No, Lil Nas being like twerking on the devil. Like this is a big shock thing right now.
I don't think that I think that isn't really even that shocking right now.
It's not to everybody because I
people
look at
are going to be
like,
shocked because we all have access to platforms that we can express when we are shocked, but I don't think that
the craziest
as
thing
shocking.
is you can look at some crazier, gayer shit on Pornhub.
Let's bring it up.
I'm just saying, it's not that. It's
no,
not,
I know YouTube doesn't.
There's
allow...
a big shock response to it, but I don't think that it's that crazy.
Another thing that I want to bring up that's completely unrelated to this, and I think we can all chime in on this here, is something that I see from time to time that I don't necessarily agree with, and I wanted to make an Instagram story about it before, but I think that this is the better platform to do it. But people that have a negative experience at a business that is locally owned, and then instead of privately messaging that person to try to give them kind of some insight about how to improve the business, they would prefer to go take it publicly and then just basically negatively, cast a bad opinion on this place based off of their experience. And I think that is like super counterproductive, especially if the business is located where you're from inside your community, because that place is locally owned and employs people in the community that you live in that then get money and they spend it within the community that keeps the economy going. And then this is not like, I feel like it's so much more beneficial to be able, like if you go to a restaurant and you have a bad experience at that restaurant.
We should preface this with, so you run
No,
social media.
I don't want to even get into that here, but I just want to see, like, and it's not even necessarily with my shit, but it's like I just see, it's like if I, like, people that do this kind of stuff don't have an understanding of how businesses work, and they're just basically spoiled, entitled people in the first place, and they just kind of put everything under the same umbrella. But it's like if someone is working or they own a place that, this is the only location right here, and there's people that are employed by this location. It's not Walmart, it's not McDonald's, it's not Burger King, it's not whatever, Boston Pizza. If you go there and you have an unsatisfactory experience, message them personally. Don't try to publicly put your experience out there that's negative, because that could take away business from this place that could eventually, maybe they'll lead them to laying off people that were working there, that was their way of, having their livelihood and everything. And I think that's just a very fucking entitled, spoiled thing to do. And if you fucking shit on local businesses that are operating where you're from, that employ people where you're from, that, I just think that's super whack, and there's a better way to go about, addressing a negative experience. And I get people spend their hard-earned money at places and they expect top quality, whatever, but if you shit on a business that is trying to do its thing in a town that you live in that's run by people that are from where you're from, then you're a fucking bitch. And I don't fuck with you.
I
just want to say that.
I half agree with that, because like I feel like so what I was going to say before, we should preface that with, you operate social media for a restaurant.
Yeah. And it's not even really to do with them. Anyone that goes to any place from around here that is not a chain, and they eat there or they spend money there and they get a service from there and they don't like it, tell them, because that business will probably appreciate you giving them the constructive criticism to help them improve the services that they provide. So
I
they
agree
can
with
get
that,
better.
but I'm saying we both work for restaurants, right? We both work for restaurants. I work in the kitchen, so like what I do on a day-to-day has been criticized in the exact way that you're speaking of. And to publicly do it, I think, is childish, and I think it is irresponsible. But I think
people that are doing it also have no experience in any type of business.
Usually
so they
they've
think
never
they
been in
categorize anywhere that they spend their money all under the same umbrella. They would compare a local business, local restaurant to a giant chain, because they're just like, I spent money here and I didn't get what I was expecting to get for my money. Therefore, I will publicly complain about it, and hopefully people don't spend their money there. And then eventually I could somehow negatively affect that place. But it has much more of a direct impact if it's a smaller place in comparison to if it's a larger chain. And especially if it's a place that exists where you live from, you have a little bit more of a direct impact. So,
Yeah, but it also get like, we talked about this earlier. Like, it gives you an opportunity, like when you mess up, just the same as like with earlier we were talking about when companies, whether intentionally or unintentionally, did something like hateful, and then they get canceled for it. Like, you can own that opportunity and do the proper thing to apologize, address the situation, and take care of it. Like I said to you earlier, like somebody complained to our restaurant about a meal that I prepared for them. And then when we kind of internalized that and looked at like, how were we preparing this, and this, it was like, okay, well, by the time we get the finished product, the chicken on the sandwich was a little bit dry. Maybe we alter the way that we prepare this. And we did. You know what I mean? So sometimes like you'll have a back and forth dialogue with said angry customer. And the thing is, like, if you look at that at like face value, when somebody gets angry like that and you just say, oh, like, fuck that person, Like,
I'm not saying
sure.
fuck anybody
no,
for
I know,
having an opinion.
I know, but I'm saying
I just mean people that try to
if you leave it
personally
there,
take-
right? If you leave
yeah.
it there, you leave it there. You leave it there because they responded, they left the ball in your court, and then you leave it there. But if you take a direct response, whether it's through personal contact with that person or personal contact with that person, and like I said, like we changed the way that we prepare things to fix that situation so it doesn't happen again. So they're actually like even like I'll take this to the time that Glenn told me I design album artwork, and he told me that what?
You just reference this a lot.
No, I know, but this is a
No, but
good example
it's
of
a good example.
Is like I design
general
album
person's
artwork,
opinion
and a
about
friend of mine that has nothing to do with that was like, "Oh, your colors are flat. Like the way that you put colors into your work is flat." And as somebody that thinks so in depth about what I do in terms of graphic design, I would never even look at that. Like I was looking deeper than that. So there's somebody who has no experience, and it showed me that I had a flaw in what I did. And that's kind of the same thing as like somebody, gets mad at your restaurant because, XYZ wasn't done. And then you can take that and internalize that, fix the problem, and reach out to them, resolve the problem with that individual. And then, that's not going to happen again because you fixed it and you have a happy, that used to be unhappy customer.
Oh, that can happen no matter
You know
what,
what I
but you
mean?
don't have to publicly take that issue. You know what
No,
I mean?
I agree, and that's what I said. I think it's childish to go about it that way.
Especially
but
if
when
you're
somebody does go about it that way, they left the ball publicly
it's like
in your court, and you can fix
for
that.
someone to start any type of business, you know what I mean, they have to save up money. They gotta, they gotta get it registered. They gotta, set it up, get a location. Eventually, get to the point they employ people. Blah blah blah. I mean, there's gonna be road bumps along the way.
It's stupid.
But don't. Yeah, I mean, just
like
like
I said before,
fucking-
canceling people doesn't work.
Yeah, people
When you
think-
want to go online and complain about
People
shit,
have no understanding of
brought
how to
more-
operate or own a business when they go to social media. They go somewhere publicly and they display, they try to negatively cast an opinion from a bad experience on an organization.
But anytime you've cast an opinion about anything online, whether it's negative or positive, like it goes to that term, like all publicity is positive publicity.
Yeah, I guess
you know what I mean. Like,
someone would be like, I'm gonna go there
like
and just try this shit.
Even if
for the
somebody
sake of this,
complains
and they
about
like
you,
it.
now their name is in another person's ear. So really, they fuck themselves up on that point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What I was gonna say here,
especially if you correct it for them, and then they're like, "Oh, they were assholes, but they fixed this and they gave me my money back," and then everybody hears that.
the same
twice.
result can happen if you hit them up privately. Jason, how you doing over there, man? What are you saying?
I'm doing great.
What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I have a lot of thoughts because I also work.
That's what I was thinking. I knew you were grabbing the mic a couple times. Yeah.
I've been like I don't know if I've been complained about, but like definitely people I've worked with have been complained about, and the people I've worked have been complained about. And I know there's like one time in particular that stands in my mind that we had regulars, and like they came in like I would work 3 shifts a week, and they would come in like I would see them almost every shift. And they had one bad experience because something was cold, but even though something that's on it is cold, so there's like a chance that would happen anyway. They had a bad experience, and then right away they posted on Facebook complaining, and they never came back. So like they were regulars, they enjoyed us enough to come back 2-3 times a week at least that I knew.
Wow.
And then out of nowhere they were like, "Oh, this place is awful." Like they never posted that they were there 2-3 times a week for a year leading up to this one bad experience.
Especially if they were that committed to going to the restaurant, you think they would
Right.
have some
Like-
kind of positive stuff to share
Like,
online.
I know them on a first name basis. I had like relationships with these people, and they never posted good reviews, but yet they posted a bad review the one time something bad happened. So like.
It's crazy, but that's the thing too. Like people are probably more inclined to share negative reviews than positive reviews because they're
absolutely.
expecting a positive review because they pay for it. If it goes according to plan as it was advertised, and it's like, what else do we have to say about this? I mean, people will still do it, but if you have a negative review, you're definitely way more likely to share negative feedback because you're like, I mean, I know for a fact if I pay for something and it's not up to standards with what I'm expecting it to be, like, I mean, I'm probably more likely to write a negative review. I don't do it, but I probably would be more likely.
You're more
to
inclined
do
to do it when
I
it's
probably
a
in the
negative
past, like
experience.
before, I kind of had a better appreciation of this, like, to do that. But yeah, I'll rate positive reviews 100%. If shit goes really well, like if I stay at a hotel and I had a good experience, I'm gonna rate a positive review because I know the effort that was put in by the owner, the hotel staff, whatever, to make, this a pleasant experience for me. And I know how algorithms work and whatever, so it's like, I know that probably benefits that organization, so I'm going to fucking hit you with the positive review, but not everyone thinks like that.
I don't think most people, I don't think I've ever had my socks blown off enough for me to
Leave
write a
positive reviews
review.
if you have a good experience at a restaurant, a hotel, anything. Do that shit, because that helps them.
It definitely
they put a lot of
does.
work into something, and they do it well. Show them the love, 'cause it's going to help them get more business.
When we were in New York, we got our room upgraded from a 1-bedroom. Remember we got there and it was a 1-bedroom and we were like, fuck, because we got a
Really?
room together. Yeah, and then we upgraded it to a 2-bedroom that didn't cost us anything. And they were like, leave us a good review. We never did.
I think we might have.
No, I didn't. I know I didn't.
Let's do something real quick here where we generate random topics here. What is your first childhood memory?
My first childhood memory that I
Real
remember
quick,
being.
just shoot it up.
I remember being in my grandmother's sink getting a bath.
At what age?
I don't even know, to be
Okay.
honest with you. But if I was big enough to be in a sink, I would have had to, at the max, been like 2.5. But I probably wasn't even that old. I remember looking at my grandmother, and she was just like hitting me with a cloth, and I was like, "You're hitting me with something and pushing me around. What the fuck?" So I probably couldn't even speak. But I just have
Did you
this
call her
very
a bitch?
faint memory. No, I don't know if I could even
Spit
speak.
in her face?
This is what I'm saying. I just remember looking at her and being like pushed
Her
around
mouth?
with a cloth in her kitchen sink.
My first childhood memory, I was living in Donkin. For the people that don't know the
You lived in
map
Donkin?
here, my mom grew up in Donkin, which for people that don't know where the geography is here, that's about 10 minutes away from Glace Bay where I'm at right now. But Jason, who is helping us out here right now, his mom was good friends with my mom. They both grew up in Donkin together. They were neighbors. Shout out to Lindsay going up the stairs right now. They were, and you babysitted me when I was a kid, but that's beside the fact. My first memory ever was at this house that they rented in Donkin for like a year, and my next door neighbor had some kind of like, it was almost like a circus type of ride in his front yard. It was like a shitty one, but it was like a fucking thing that just moved back and forth, and it was like a horse, and I was like 2. I remember he showed me that, and I was like, man, this guy's crazy. He got circus shit in his front yard. That's my first memory ever. Next random topic.
That's crazy.
Which app seemed like magic the first time you tried it?
Which app?
This is a weird one. I should just hit refresh. It didn't even
Does
respond
Pornhub
to
have
this.
an app?
That's a good question.
You're
Someone gotta
generating
figure that out.
topic.
Does Pornhub have an app? I don't think so.
Nobody would download that.
What movie
This is
scene?
his user
What,
browser,
yeah,
delete.
no. What the fuck? Why you have Pornhub on your fucking dashboard? Oh yeah. This is what I use to edit photos. This is
Give your
Pornhub.
phone to your dad.
What? Yeah.
Or your
Here, Dad.
grandmother.
Here's my phone.
Hey man, this
Text-
is the app that I use to look up.
Here's Dad.
Tits.
Here's my phone. Text Mom.
Um,
What movie scene choked you up the most? Pornhub. Does fashion help society in any way?
Does fashion help society in any way?
One word answer.
Probably not. That's
No.
2 words. Probably not.
Do you play any fantasy sport?
Unless
leagues?
there's a fashion show that raises money for cancer.
Do you play in any fantasy sport leagues?
No.
No. Do you prefer to
Jay
watch?
does.
Fuck you, Jay. Do you prefer to watch movies in the theater or in the comfort of your own home?
I like them at home, dude. I don't like theaters because people are like.
I like theaters, but I haven't been in one fucking since 1985. So
I haven't been in a theater like recently without thinking like somebody in here is probably getting a hand job.
facts, and it was me. Next, what type of phone do you have? That's a good one. We can all answer that.
My phone's old, but I also
I think
paid
I have an
very little
iPhone
for
11.
it. I think I'm due for an upgrade soon. Mine's like a 6S.
Holy shit, you are. How long have you had that one for?
A couple years.
Shut up. What was the last funny video you saw? This one.
The last funny video I saw.
What a generic question.
I don't know. I saw a video earlier, and I tried to bring this up earlier when we were at the restaurant, and I was like, I saw this guy that like got all this, like he got his whole face tattooed black, got his eyes all tattooed black to look like a bat.
He was doing blackface.
And he had his
Blackface.
ears cut to look like a bat, and then he did like the final stage and just cut his whole nose off. And I was like, that's the craziest shit I've ever seen. It
pretty
wasn't
gruesome.
even funny. It was kind of disturbing, but
How often do you check your phone?
as little as I possibly can, honestly, because I feel like phones are very agitating to my day to day.
How long? Actually, no. I'm gonna ask this question. How long after you wake up do you check your phone? We hit another half hour that fast? We're an hour and a half in.
We're an hour 20 on my record time.
Okay, that's not bad.
Every
We're
4
80 minutes in. That's pretty decent. How often do you check your phone?
Here's one I'm gonna answer.
Oh, she's taking a picture of us.
As soon as I wake up, I wake up.
I look at it to see what the time is, but I try not to go in too deep. Like if I start scrolling through Instagram like low key kind of like makes me pissed off. Like I'll see something that fucking agitates me.
Like if there's like no notifications, I put my phone away. But like I check notifications, especially for texts, because I don't text many people. Like
Yeah. I don't use my phone much to communicate with people. Like I do check my phone as soon as I wake up, and it's literally to just check like what Bitcoin's worth. Like I don't like
For real.
Yeah. Well, not Bitcoin
Bitcoin is too
specifically.
deep to even have a good stake in it. I guess I'm wrong. It could definitely any percentage.
That's on the weekends. On the weekends, I only wake up to check what Bitcoin's worth. But on any other given day, the first time I check my phone is probably 10:30 when my apps like, or no, my apps when my
stonks open,
when
baby.
my stocks update. You know what I mean? Like when we go live on the stock market, that's when I check my phone. I don't like otherwise. Like I don't have.
You don't check your phone until 10:30.
Yeah.
You know, once we got this podcast rolling, baby, we're gonna have clips. You're gonna start posting that shit on your Instagram. Designed by Mitchell on Instagram. Is that a design by Mitchell?
I don't know if I'm gonna use that Instagram.
I think you should start posting clips from the podcast on your Instagram. Are you gonna make a new one?
I might rename that one because I don't want to work as
a graphic
designer for anybody ever again. So like if that's gonna be, you know. Like I have more followers and shit on that are aware of what I'm doing.
I wouldn't get rid of that Instagram account because you got a little. I wouldn't get rid of it. You got a little base today.
No, what?
I'm older by a month.
You're older by a month. So there you go, Mitchell too.
Mitchell 2.
Oh, we can't put him with a 2.
I'll be Mitchell 7.
I can't make his identity go to a 2. Do you play sports video games? Which one is it? Playing the video games or playing the sport more fun? Why? I don't play sports video games. I don't play any video games. I don't know if that makes me unrelatable to a lot of people.
But
sports video games. I was amazing at soccer. I'll fucking juggle ball 2,000 times on this shit right now, and I'll put you
I can
grave.
testify to that, man. I remember that time that you we were in like reserve, and you were like, you literally just said, I'm gonna juggle this ball 100 times and kick into that basketball net and swish it. And you literally just did that shit, and it was like stupid.
I did not. There's no way I switched.
Yes, you did. You fucking... Dude, that was like the least crazy thing that you did. You juggled the ball 100 times in front of me, Brandon Carabin, Jay Cutt, maybe Aiden Phelan, Fu probably, and swished it. You don't remember that? That was amazing to me.
I remember hitting it in the net, but I didn't think that it happened that perfectly.
It was very
I know
perfect.
I tried a bunch of times, and you guys were filming it, but...
Dude.
I used to go in the...
No, you did it, and then we filmed the end of it again. We were like, pretend that you started at 96. You literally did it in front of us, and we were like, that didn't happen.
Oh, yeah, I was juggling like a motherfucker.
No. You juggled it 100 times and hit the shot, and then we were like, we need to get that on video afterwards. And then we like tried to get a video pretending it, and then you fucked it up. But you actually did it the first time.
Oh, I did it the first time before.
You did it the first time. You juggled 100 times. Got it in the net, like in like a movie sequence.
Easily, if I didn't stop playing soccer in 9th grade, I would have definitely played university soccer. But I don't know. My whole work ethic at that point was to make it as a professional soccer player because the guy who was coaching me when I was junior high, he was British and he played as like a substitute for a professional team, and he was like, we played 10 hours a day, and I was like, fuck, I'm only playing 3 hours a day. I want to be a star, so I gotta play at least 4 hours a day. So I just kicked the ball off that door behind you right there, and then I would go in the driveway and I would just fucking kick it up all day. But that's a story for a different day. But I would like to put out a video sometime, see how much fucking times I keep the ball in the air. What is the best room in your house? Why? I wish I didn't speak this question out loud. It sucks.
What is the best room in your house?
The bathroom, I think. Because where else would you shit?
Every day.
All right. We can just leave it at that.
You don't gotta shit your fucked up.
What book has influenced you the most? I'm gonna say Think and Grow Rich, and I'm gonna probably say the same for you because we wrote the Bible at the back of that book.
Yeah, we did. There's one copy of that, and nobody will ever see it probably, but someday.
What are the best and worst things about the marketplace where you get your apps?
That's a
Skipping that
stupid
one.
question.
What was your least favorite job that you've ever had?
I really hate the Apple Store. What was the least
really hate my
favorite
mom.
job that you've ever had?
Love my mom.
Um,
My least favorite job that I've had was probably the job that I had quit about 2 months ago, where I somehow managed to become a supervisor at Bob's Discount Furniture, where I was a customer service supervisor, where I would just deal with people that had the most fucking complicated problems, and I would just let them know that there was nothing I could do, and I got to abide by the policy, and that's it, and there's really, honestly, nothing else I could do, and that's it, and basically argue with people from home all day, which is something I never really told anyone that I did publicly, but that was something I did, and I became good at it, but I would never, ever do that shit again, because it's excruciatingly painful on your brain, and that is the least favorite job that I've ever had. What about you?
See, I've only ever worked as I worked as a cook at Boston Pizza in Dartmouth, and I worked as I worked in a museum, which was like the best job I ever had. It was fucking sick. I was high as shit all the
Shout out
time.
to the Miners Museum.
Yeah, but I worked in a museum, and then I worked at Boston Pizza, and then I worked at Boston Pizza. And no, the worst job that I ever had was working at Tim Hortons. That was fucking terrible. I love bacon.
I worked at Tim Hortons too, man, but
Yeah,
they were like, make a bagel,
within like a month, right?
fucking make a coffee, clean up the shit. I never got to the point of doing the drive-thru, but I worked at Tim Hortons for about a month and a half, and then we went to Halifax and I performed, and then we went on Global News, and I was like, man, you know what? I'm in grade 12, I'm working at Tim's, and I just was on Global News. I can't work at Tim's. Fuck Tim's. Fuck cinnamon raisin bagels.
Fuck Tim's because their coffee's terrible.
They
switched their coffee up like 4 times.
They lost the beans at McDonald's, right? You're the one. I tell everyone that. At the Savoy, when I worked at the Savoy.
Yeah, at the Savoy.
Yeah.
And when you put in a poll, you're like, who has better coffee, Tim Hortons or McDonald's? The McDonald's won, did it not?
McDonald's wins every time I've done it.
But
recently.
But the thing is, they switched their coffee.
They got the beans that Tim Hortons used to have, right?
Yeah, apparently the McDonald's bean distributor jacked the contract out.
Well, they probably didn't jack it. It was probably they had it for X amount of years. That's such a funny low-key background business thing that goes on.
They waited to come to Canada until the contract was set to renew, so Tim Hortons didn't think they had anything.
And then they could be like, hey, we did X amount of sales in coffee, and Tim Hortons did this amount of sales in coffee. We did more. Give us more for less. Bang, we got the contract. You know what I mean? It's just simple business on a wide, bigger scale.
No. This was low-ski because McDonald's introduced McCafe in the States, but they didn't in Canada.
No, but they probably waited until the popularity was high enough that they could bring it here and then bolster enough sales to knock out Tim Hortons.
They only waited until Tim Hortons contract.
Yeah, strategic timing. But I mean,
yeah.
Well, regardless
I feel
of
big chains like that have different types of ways of doing their business in different countries.
It all
there
comes
are
down to
different
money.
levels. What is the craziest, most outrageous thing you want to achieve?
That's a good question.
I think developing my own platform where I'm releasing my music, releasing this podcast, releasing documentation of things that I do, putting on other artists, moving to a different country. I think my whole life goals are crazy, outrageous things that I want to achieve, but I plan on doing them. So, join me in my cult.
I feel like if Lil Nas X
had sex with your mom.
No. Well, maybe, but pushes the whole homosexual, crowd to be wide enough, I could probably sell advertising on my nuts and make a lot of money doing that.
You got good nuts?
My nuts are big, so lots of room for advertising.
Next question. I don't feel like we can just go to the next question after you say that. Because I remember in 2017, after you had your first kid, and you sent me a picture of you holding him against you. And you get him out of the tub,
nuts, right?
And you were like, look at his nuts.
He had big nuts for a baby? Well,
I ain't gonna lie, that kid's packing.
Multiply that into an adult. I've got large nuts, let's just put it that way. Lots of room for advertising.
We're going to make a Patreon. People can subscribe to it and see your nuts. What is something you are obsessed with?
My nuts.
I'm obsessed with your nuts, buddy. Next question. This shit froze, bro. I'm just getting Dell ads. Oh, this shit's lacking. Where do you spend most of your free time?
I have 2 kids. I have no free time.
Oh, that's depressing. What is your first? Oh, we did this.
Most of my free time I spend pooping.
What movies have the same power as books to change the world? Wolf of Wall Street is also a book.
I think movies have more power to change the world than books. It's easier to translate a fucking idea that's visual.
I skipped that question. Who had the biggest impact on the person you have become? That's a good one.
Damn, I never even thought about that before.
Probably Don Lemon.
Who's that?
He's a reporter on CNN.
I actually think, like, if I'm going to answer that seriously, like, my grandfather, from, like, a very vague, like, kind of perspective, because I don't really know him that well, but I know, like, things that he did, and I want to, like, beat those achievements, which I think is hard to do, because, like, my grandfather, I'm already behind on this, because my grandfather opened a dental practice when he was 24.
Different times, bro.
Different times.
He had less
but it's like
variety
he set these bars. He came from nothing.
How many kids did he have?
He was poor as fuck. He had 3 kids.
At 23?
Step 1.
I don't know.
Enroll in dental school.
Yes, sir. Next question. What sports do you like to watch?
I'm not, honestly, I don't like watching any sports, but if I'm going to watch them, I watch basketball.
What about you, Jay?
I really like hockey. Like I'll watch like pretty much any sport, but hockey's my go-to.
I'll watch some soccer, but I don't really watch that much. Who was your best friend in elementary school? All right, man. I'll say Mitch too. Next question.
Damn.
What about you?
My best friend was a guy named Mikey Martin. Love that dude.
Tell me more about him.
Oh, well, he was older than me. I think he was held back. And true story, I was scared of him at first. But he was the first person to be nice to me when I moved here. And I love the dude to death.
Where's he at right now?
Last I was talking to him, I don't really talk to him anymore. He was roofing with his father. So, like around here. Yeah.
Shout out to Mikey. What was the last thing you purchased? What was the last thing you purchased? Yeah, what the fuck?
I was just changing my Instagram name to Mitchell Turner 7, so it's easier.
Follow Mitchell Turner. Mitchell Turner 7?
Yeah, but I can't.
And Mitchell Bailey 7. This is the Mitchell Square podcast.
No, somebody already has that though.
Well, they already took Mitchell Turner 7?
Yeah.
Make it Mitchell Turner. This is gonna be dope that we actually have this recorded
14.
on the podcast.
Mitchell Turner 14.
Why 14?
Because
it's multiple
7
7
times 2. And it was also my first basketball number when I made the A-team.
Fucking break it down, bro. I played basketball for 1 year, and
you made the A-team.
I made the A-team.
I played for
Everybody
3
else
years.
was committed
Took me
their life.
2 or 3 years to make the A-team. He made the A-team first year. He tried out.
He
was not good.
10
I wasn't
points,
good either,
baby.
but he wasn't good either.
I wasn't shit, bro. I was shit, but you know what? I had
I was
charisma.
just really short.
I had charisma, baby.
I can understand.
I was
why
a great
I
soccer player
I was
after
like 2
my
feet
first
tall.
2 months of playing soccer, and I said a basketball too, because that's cool. Fucking, you know what I mean? I like. I'm not gonna continue that sentence, but I played basketball, and it was a good time, man. I remember my first game, Glace Bay Elementary. I got fouled. Time to shoot some free throws, airballed both of them, disappointed my parents.
Was that at Glace Bay Elementary, you said?
Yes, sir.
I remember that. I can remember that.
I shit the bed that day, man. I was trying to be someone I was not. I was a soccer player at heart, but I played basketball for a whole year. 18, baby. John McNeil was the co-captain.
He was the captain.
He was taking. He was proud about that shit. I remember that. John. But you know what, man? Yeah, I sucked, and I never went back. And, yeah, know your strengths, people. Be self-aware. Because I didn't go back for grade 6. But I played on the best team in grade 5, and I was ass. So, fuck y'all.
No, what's funny is, like, I remember that. And I remember you taking those foul shots because I remember being jealous. Because I played. That was my second year playing.
Shots and missing them.
That was my second year playing, and I had never gotten fouled. I was super jealous about that.
I got
never got
fouled,
fouled while
baby.
taking a shot.
I was applying enough
And then
pressure that I got
I
fouled.
remember finally taking foul shots. I missed them too.
Yeah, fuck you. What do you think of tattoos, and do you have any? Because I don't think any of us. Oh, you have tattoos.
I got 3 tattoos.
You got a tattoo on your hand. YSS, baby. Rest in peace.
I got 3 tattoos. I got 2 of these
Oh,
are
Jessica has
together.
like 75 tattoos. I'm
And
like,
I got one
we're
for my
all
son on
white
my
guys.
chest.
None of us have tattoos.
I gotta get another
Call
one for
my
my other
mom.
son, and then another one for my upcoming child. I gotta
and
get 2
my
more tattoos.
and me too. No. Nope. That question sucks. Are you very active, or do you prefer to just relax in your free time?
I like to work out. I feel like shit when I don't work out, because you know that like
We should go to the gym.
We should go to the gym.
You want to go to the gym?
I have no time to go to the gym, but I would love to.
Alright, man,
I have
fuck
a
you.
pretty good setup in my basement. Like you could come over to my house and we could work out. I got a bench. I got like a mirror that you can like stare yourself in the eyes.
Can we
and
do
stare straight into your
shoulders?
soul while you're doing squats.
I want to do shoulders.
Yeah, you can do shoulders in my basement, dude. You got to do it around some weed plants, but like.
I will call the cops.
Hate marijuana.
I will call the fucking police on you. Do you like classical
in the legal
music?
limit.
I want to work out with you though. I do go for runs. I try to go for them every day that it's not cold.
You could definitely come over and lift some weights though, like with me.
What kind of? Do you got dumbbells?
I have 2 dumbbells, but yeah, I got 2 dumbbells and I got a barbell and a bench.
Do you got plates?
Yeah, I got like 200
My younger brother
pounds.
has got some plates. He got some
Does he?
plates.
Your young?
Cole got a bench and plates.
Does he actually work out?
He does,
Oh,
and he's
good.
training for a
Okay.
fight.
For what?
Anyway, what did you do this past weekend?
This past weekend, I had a 1-day weekend.
Your
Because
weekend just started.
what? Well, this week. Well, this is my past weekend. This is my current weekend. My past weekend, friend and coworker of mine's mother passed away, so I had to work one of those days. But my other day, I went
Rest
for a
in
drive
peace.
with my kids because I'm boring.
No, you're not boring, bro. You're a dad.
I'm pretty boring.
You're not bad.
I'm a dad. That's why I'm.
You're
boring.
not boring. I
I
said
had pretty
think I
exciting
said you're
times
not bad.
prior to being a dad. But I'm not
Last
that
weekend, I went and stayed at Cabot Shores. It is a dome-like place
What was
around
the name
here.
of the word of the fucking thing that you stayed inside of?
A yurt.
A
I
yurt?
stayed at a yurt.
A yogurt
And
minus
I woke up in the morning,
and
there was a bonfire outside of the yurt that I stayed in, and somehow we lured a lot of the employees that worked there to come and drink and hang out after the live entertainment that was overly priced. And
Stop complaining about people's service on the internet, bro.
bro, I guess I'm complaining about locally owned businesses. Maybe I'm a hypocrite. But I woke up in the morning and I had to shit. And I went to the place where I was supposed to be able to go and poop, and the door was locked. And the sun was rising. I had to poop. I was dehydrated, got a water, went back in my little
Did you have
yurt.
access to the ocean?
I didn't have access to the ocean.
Okay. I was going to say,
If I had access to
the
the ocean, I would have to have walked about 3 kilometers. So I went back to bed, woke up around 8, and said, now, not only do I have to poop, but I have to puke. And I got up, and went to the bathroom, did do the poop. And then I was like, fuck, time to puke. And I was trying so hard to puke, and the place that was next to me, right next to the yurt I stayed in, right next to that was where everybody was going to have their breakfast. There was no one to be seen, so I was like, probably save time to puke. Trying to puke, couldn't puke. Then I did puke, and as soon as I started puking, that's when everyone decided to go to breakfast. And I started puking. People were walking to breakfast. Beautiful morning, time to take advantage of the day. I'm puking everywhere. And I tried to shade where I was puking to different directions so they wouldn't see me. And puked in about 4 different corners. And then there was a hot tub that we had added on to outside the yurt.
battery's dead?
Of your camera?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, we should probably end this then. The audio will still be included, but I'll keep telling the story. So basically, now the screen is black if you're watching this on YouTube. And we had a hot tub added on to the yurt, so there was a cover on it. So I decided, hey, it's time to go to bed for a bit because no one else in the yurt was awake yet. So I laid on top of the yurt and took a little nap, and 45 minutes later, I woke up, and this guy in full-blown champion, he was in a champion tracksuit. He was a fucking thug. Came over to me, he said, hey, man, I thought you were "Are you okay?" And I said, "Nope." No, I said, "Yeah, I'm all right, man. Go away." And then I was fine. But it was funny because there was a lot of snow on the ground, and there was like little orange spots in all these different places of the snow because that's where I was puking. But what I realized was there was a huge window in the lodge area where the breakfast was right next to the yurt that I was staying in. So there was probably people that were eating breakfast and watching me puke in like 5 different spots. And then take a nap on top of a hot tub. And that guy was probably fucking concerned as fuck because he was like, I just watched this guy die on top of a hot tub. Fuck that guy. How are we going to wrap this up? Your camera died. The screen is black if you're watching this on YouTube. I don't know how this
It's pretty
shit
crazy
goes.
that anybody in a full champion tracksuit was concerned about anything. So.
Yeah. He was smoking a lot of weed, bro.
Yeah, that's the only reason he was concerned.
Shout out to everyone who's watched this whole thing. It's the Mitchell Squared podcast. Follow me on Instagram at MitchellBailey7. Subscribe to the channel because that's where I'm posting this shit. We're going to do this once a week until we have 7 billion subscribers and we all have fat gold chains, including Jason and all of Mitch's kids. It's a given that me and Mitch will have the fat gold chains, but I'm not going to refer to that. And yeah, what's your Instagram name that you just edited and made?
I just changed my Instagram name to. It still says that it's designed by Mitchell, but it should say Mitchell Turner 14. It should say that, but it doesn't say that. Look, I can see right there. It's Mitchell Turner, MITCHELLTURNER 14.
I think that was a good first episode. Obviously, we didn't expect it to be perfect, but we had a good time. And if you listen to this whole thing, I love you to death, baby girl.
And if you keep
baby
watching,
boy.
if you keep watching, I'm at a particular point in my life where my mustache is almost connected with the rest of my beard. So if you keep watching for maybe
get that
5 or
connection.
6 more months, you could see me transform into a full beard.
That's a full-blown connection. We got a shout out to Jay Bigley, Jason Bigley, Big Jay-Z. Jay, is there anything you want to say, my friend?
No.
All right, man. That's how we're gonna wrap it up. You gotta press a button on that. You gotta press a button on that fucking space bar, man. Let's wrap this shit up. Good night, baby.